Hi guys, it's Dominic. Yeah, it's Dominic Bayless. You're now watching my channel, obviously. Today's video, I recorded earlier on today. We're speaking about common law, trying to create some momentum with common law, and people are asking me, what is common law? So I put this little video together now with the help of Mike Scott, who's British based. UK based, part of the Guardians group of common law. And we're chatting with Dr. Barry over in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, who's also set up and got a jury and everything set up and taking people to the common law courts. It's a work in progress. So yeah, just if you want to learn about common law and want some questions answered, just watch along, see what you think. And then later on this year, hopefully, there'll be a common law website being set up. So, yeah, please enjoy.
Dr. Barry, London News, live in Australia here, and it's 10 past 10 at night, and it's 10 past, well, my clock is wrong, it's 5 past in the UK, and we're talking to Dominic, and we're talking to Michael. Michael is running the Guardians in England, Guardians 300, and we've come into contact because these guys are right into common law like I am here, and Dominic, of course, as well. So over to you, Michael. Whereabouts? You're in a car, and obviously you're traveling. Where the heck are you?
Yeah, we're on our way to Manchester, God's country, and I'm off to see and have lunch with my lovely daughters and grandchildren up there, of which I have 7 grandchildren and 3 daughters. So yeah, we're off up there. I'm on my way up there with Victoria, my partner, and we're just about to have a nice lunch with them.
Well, that sounds pretty good, mate. And nice cool weather over there for that, but I won't mention that.
Well, you can always guarantee a little bit of rain whenever you go to Manchester. It's almost, Manchester's great if you're a duck.
It's like my dad used to say about Ireland. It'd be a lovely country that could put a roof on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've got a question for you, Michael. The Guardians, how long have you been guys going? You were involved with the other common law court. Are you all one, or where are you in relation to common law, which is the most important thing in the world at the moment to a lot of people?
Well, I believe that common law is the answer because it's a system that is commensurate with humanity and also community. And of course, the government have tried to break down the family unit and the community as a whole with social distancing and some of its behavioural strategies, of which are all born in military training. When I look at the way we used to train and condition people for combat, there are so many similarities, it's scary. And of course, the Guardians was established because of the way the government were governing and also because of the way the police were policing. And our main role is to provide training, one, to fill the gap of knowledge with regards to common law and use common law as a system to create momentum, which it's doing pretty well, and also to create some strategies by training peace officers, or peace constables rather, in the art of defending their communities and standing up for them lawfully and peacefully.
Yeah, well, that's exactly. Well, we've set up the common law court here. We've gone to the sheriff aspect, same as America, because being ex-army and ex-police, I was constable long enough, and here it's the Australians have a built-in resistance to the law from very early days. So the sheriff is quite accepted here, and we've only got 3 deputy sheriffs, which were sworn in before a jury of their peers. But anyway, Dominic is very interested in getting heavily involved in common law. He needs a little bit of guidance over to set one up. So, Dominic, if you got any questions for Michael?
Well, I've got loads of questions.
The answers
obviously, I'm aware of where the sheriff comes from. It's the shire that you live in, and he was the reef of the village. And I try and tell people this. That's where the word came from, the shire reef. Okay, so I think that's a good basis of start of conversation to get people interested. But people want more. They're like salivating. They want more sort of information. So this is where I am now. How do people get involved in common law, and how will it benefit them?
Well, I mean, ultimately, common law is about giving people an understanding of how sovereign they are and how powerful they are. That's what you know. When Alfred consulted the tribes, you know, Alfred created the first professional army, really, and also consulted tribal leaders to come up with a system that was really quite simple. And it was, you know, the net result of that was cause no harm, loss, injury, and be honourable in your contracts. Now, all of that's very, very logical and reasonable. So, and runs in line with what I would say is spirit, really. It's the spiritual element of our existence, in so much that we honour each other, you know, and we honour each other at the level of, you know, you are no greater or lesser than I am. And therefore, we treat each other accordingly without sort of becoming all Christian about it, to be fair. But in reality, it is God's law.
Sure.
And it's how we treat people, isn't it?
That's
and
very
so,
interesting.
So common law, that's the whole premise of it, Dominic, you know?
I guess this goes back before statute law. I mean, is this the laws that were there before statute?
Well, it is. I mean, if you look to the hierarchy of law, you would see that we start with divine law. So we talk about God's law, and common law really is man's law. So it's our, if you like, derivative. It's a derivative of divine law, but essentially there is nothing higher. So if you treat people with honor and you are honorable and you cause them no harm, loss, or injury, actually, there's a lot of logic in that. Statute law came along, and statute law was created, and anyone that reads Blacklaw's dictionary would soon know that it never to give governments the power to take money off us and control, nothing less than that.
Yeah, and I've been telling people the records go back to 1066 when William the Conqueror came in. He brought in some Jewish people, and they were bankers and great bookkeepers, hence the Doomsday Book. So these guys were pretty good at records, and the common law records were kept from them. So, and when the statute law started up at the inns in London and so on forth, money was poured into this. And when money gets involved in anything, it's going to outrun common sense. And now it turned into a money
and power, Barry, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Money and power amplify who you are.
Yeah. And common sense is too simple. You know, the old story, keep it simple, stupid. I mean, it's just back to the basics. The people are the power, and getting this, it's like getting them to change religion, because sometimes they'll argue against you, and then you say, hang on a second, from what point of view are you arguing? What do you actually know about the subject you're arguing about? And if they're honest, we all don't like to be wrong. Just be wrong and learn.
Yeah. Well, you only learn when you make mistakes, right? And, you know, there's no such thing as failure if you use every opportunity as an opportunity to learn. You know, when we stop learning, we're doomed, really.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, when we stop questioning, and what's happened, I would say, over a number of years, certainly since the Second World War, we stopped questioning, and we've got too comfortable in an idea that the government that we have trusted serve us, when in reality they don't give two hoots about you.
No, not at all.
Well, themselves.
It all started in Yakla in 45 after the war, where they really divided the world up, and again the League of Nations came in later on, and they've been planning this to destroy us, and they have succeeded. They've kept families. There are families now that we had a shooting here in about 10, 15 kilometers away from us. It was in a block of flats, and I know the place quite well. And there was one old chappie in his late 70s or something, and they really gave him a hard. The other tenants gave him a hard time because he wasn't vaccinated. To the extent he went in, he got his gun, and he actually shot two of them dead, and he was taken into custody, all because of this vaccine. So we don't have governments here in Australia. We have corporations, federal and state, and politicians, which are nothing more than criminals. We've convicted two of them at the moment, and the paperwork is well, I hope it ends up in The Hague because they're charged and convicted of genocide. So this division is something that it's a worldwide thing to break any cohesion up. We're multicultural countries now, and it doesn't matter what color you are, green, blue, or black. We've got to stand together because we're all on the Titanic.
Absolutely, we are. And of course, you know, one of the reasons I created the Guardians 300 was because war fighting, which I believe we are in, is about two simple things: momentum, creating momentum, and also using strategy to interrupt the strategy of your opponent. And as long as you can create momentum and at the same time win the hearts and minds of everyone around you and the support of the local people, you're on a winning strategy.
All right.
Yes.
And that's what common law is fantastic at doing, because it isn't about one individual. You know, it's not about Mick Stott. I don't give two hoots about, you know, what I want everyone learning from Mick Stott. No, because that's not even realistic. You know, common law is about learning from each other, having access to objective information, and standing in your own conscience when you decide to take an action. That's, for me, is the whole point of it.
Absolutely right. Yeah. And I think it's just getting the message across really to the mass. I mean, this needs to be, I'm going to help with this, obviously, put this on my channel, but a lot of people need to take note of this. And that's what I'm trying to push this message across. Common law is the way forward.
Yeah, and it's not about one organisation, Dominic. I think the main thing is, because people think they have to join CLC or Guardians 300 or any of the other organisations that are doing it. No, they don't. What they should do is learn enough that allows you to recognise that you are the power.
Yeah, that's right.
And that you are infinitely more powerful than the government.
The power lies within yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and I think that's the scariest thing for the government, that.
Yeah, well, we struggled for a good while here because we had lockdowns. We were the most locked down state in Australia. But now we've got the backing we've got the guy giving us a premises. We're going to have, he's putting full-time staff on there, volunteers. He will put some money into somebody that's necessary. We have enough room for have two courts going at the same time. So we've got a lot of backing. We have another guy going to put a sheriff's car on the road. And once we get that on the road, we'll have a number of people can ring for help, and they'll come back to a human being who will answer it. We'll organize the summons. I went out to a takeaway place and I went in the other day, and they were quite happy for us to go in there without masks. I mean, down the country is a bit different. Anyway, went in and we read the menu. So about 9 to 10 minutes, we went up and ordered, paid for it. And then I was asked to wait outside like a dog. And there was a dog outside. So you want me to join the dog and wait outside? And the guy says, oh, no. Then the lady who said she got tattooed all over the place. She reckons she owned the place. And she said, I had to wait outside. Well, so I comply with trespass rules and wait outside. So we just left the money. Anyway, I issued her with a summons, and the paperwork's here, and we gave her a break. If she apologizes by midweek this week, we won't proceed with the action, but we will take her to court and mediation and then court, because we got to make a stand, and it doesn't matter which end is coming. Normally we help businesses not pay fines, and we've been successful so far. And but I'm not going to take any crap of anybody because they're interfering with my rights. Humanity, caution, and prudence. And it's, as far as I'm concerned, it caused duress unnecessarily.
Yeah, and of course, if we don't hold these people accountable, Barry, because you see that the most dangerous group of people that exist in the world are the order followers, and those that are incentivized to follow the orders. You know, if you look at now GPs in the UK that are being paid to vaccinate children, you know, they are earning some significant sums as practices. And of course, these are people that are only reading one element of the research that's coming forwards. That's the story we're given anyway. For me, if we don't hold these people accountable, you know, this is one of the strategies that we deployed when I joined the World Freedom Alliance. Because we started to issue notices of liability, and also to hold individuals accountable that are all in the decision-making slots. This is having quite a significant impact on them in the UK. Some of the TV stars and some of the people that are talking on the TV, such as Dr. Hillary, who tells more lies than a cheap watch. So holding these people accountable is a very important strategy.
Absolutely.
Well, we've had a grand jury here, and we indicted 17. It's on our YouTube, our website, and the media, this Channel 7, Channel 9, and ABC News. And I've done a video today, which is going to be a little bit of fun. I've done it in fiction, so I'm in a fictional world, so I can say what I like. I've come from a real fictional world into another fictional world. Anyway, our next couple of court cases will be, these people have been indicted, so these CEOs are going to get done in their private capacity for mediation. If they don't, they won't turn up, and then we'll go ahead with a court case on that. So we're going to make them accountable next. Well, listen, Michael, perhaps unless Dominic's got another question, we'll let you go and we'll go off the air, and I'll just close down before we go. And then if you got any questions, Dominic, on air time.
Yeah, there's one quite powerful question, really. With the dip, they call it the sheep dip, right? Making it mandatory, which seems to be happening and coming across the globe towards the UK. Okay, the sheep dip. That to myself is a big wrong, and it's like being forced on you, and it goes against all the Nuremberg and your Bill of Rights and all your conventions and your human rights. That is wrong, isn't it? I mean, how do you get around that one?
Well, this is where the momentum is important. If you get enough people standing up and saying no, then it doesn't happen. And it is as simple as creating momentum around, one, understanding what the Nuremberg Code is. And as a veteran, you know, that's a code that's very dear to my heart, because if I look at my forebears that went and fought world wars, they believed they were fighting for freedom. The Nuremberg Code was created for a reason. But equally, you could also say that the medical practitioners should also take responsibility at the level of the Hippocratic Oath. The whole point of the Hippocratic Oath was to do no harm. That was the first, and never to force a medical intervention on anyone. And if you align that to the lack of informed consent, you know, now you're in real hot water. What I can't work out is when you consider how intelligent some of these people are supposed to be, how they don't even pay attention to any of those elements that really they are directly responsible for, and you know, the application of those. So for me, I think momentum and strategy, holding people accountable, is really important, and actually taking it to their door, but with the common law, teaching people how to stand in their power, and going out doing that, but creating thousands and thousands, which is what we've done already. There are tens of thousands that we've influenced already.
That's good.
Yes.
Smashing.
Yeah, I say to people, if you, some of my friends are still in the police force, I say, if you can show me anywhere in any act that mentions a man or a woman, it's only a person found committing. So I've convinced, well, we have IDs now to say that we're not persons. But anyhow, Michael, I'll let you go now because you're on your way to having a good day out. But thank you very, very much online for coming on, and we will definitely catch up as soon as possible. And is it okay if I give Dominic your number?
Absolutely, yeah. We'll hook up and have a chat.
That'll be smashing. Yes, thanks, Michael, for the chat anyhow today. It's been great.